and welcome back to Amazon Business Shop Like a Pro series, where you can learn about the great tools on Amazon Business to streamline your buying process, save time, and save money. I am Nicole Snyder, and I will be your host today, taking you through the steps to create and leverage product lists for your business shopping. Let's start with an overview. You can save time searching for products by organizing them into lists. We have two types of product lists: reorder lists for repeating purchasing, or shopping lists for items that you only need to purchase once. Share with your organization, share with groups, share with individuals on your account. You can also share lists externally to encourage possibly donations if you're able to accept donations from outside donors, or any other reason where you might need someone outside of your central account to be able to access your lists. In order to show you how to shop like a pro on Amazon Business, I'm going to hop into a demo account and show you live how to create custom lists. So let's start with an example. I'm going to hover here over the list icon, and I'm going to create my first list since I currently do not have any lists here. And I'll just quickly log in. And it's going to drop me into this list screen here where I have two options. Again, to select a reorder list or select a shopping list. So those reorder lists are going to be lists where items remain on the list after they are purchased. A shopping list is going to be more like a registry or a grocery list. Once those items are purchased, they will fall off of that list. Give your list a name here. And in this case, I am going to say that I am in charge of purchasing janitorial supplies, and I need an easy way to reference a list of items that I've found to be compatible for various paper towel, hand sanitation, and other dispensers. So since this is an activity I'm likely to need to do more than once, I'll need to restock on a somewhat regular basis, I'm going to choose the reorder list option. And here, I'm just going to give this a name that I can recognize so I can easily find my list later, and then click Create List. When I'm first dropped into my list, I'll see several options here, and let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see these in full, where I can add items to my list directly from the list screen. So starting with your orders. If I had orders on this account, this is a demo account, I would see a list of those past orders by default from the past 30 days or up to the past 2 years. This would give me a list of options of my past orders that I could then select and choose down at the bottom here to add to my list. The next option here is a keyword search. You could search for a keyword such as paper towels and click search, and it's going to give you the top 3 results for those paper towels. If you'd like to narrow down your searches a little bit, you can add some parameters here, such as under $15. Let's give that a dollar sign and click search. You're still going to see one of the most popular items here, not always an Amazon item. This will be based on maybe quantity discounts available or some other criteria, but you'll also see some additional results that are under that $15 criteria or that parameter that you've set. So I'm going to go ahead and click this sparkle paper towels here and add this to my list now that I can see this listed right here below. We have some other options here at the end that are going to require some sort of unique identifier, starting with the product ASIN. The ASIN is the Amazon product number, our unique identifier for products on our marketplace. We also have options to add products based on ISBN, the URL of the product page on Amazon, a supplier name plus the SKU, a manufacturer name plus the part number. For ASIN, I just want to quickly show you how you can find the ASIN on the product page so that you can add items to your list using the ASIN string of characters. So let's go here and let's say, sticking with our janitorial supplies example, that I need to refill a Purell dispenser. So I'm going to go here and start typing for Purell to get a Purell hand sanitizer refill. And I'm just going to scroll down on the page here a bit till I see something that looks like a somewhat reasonable option. Let's go with these here. All right, so now I am on the product page for these hand sanitizer refills, and I'm just going to scroll down a little bit on this page until I get to the product details section. Here you will see the string of characters that I mentioned, these ASIN listed here. So I can go ahead and copy that out. And I will scroll all the way back up here and then open up my list screen in a new tab because I do want to circle back to this and show you a few more things on the product page. So in this case, now the add items section where we saw all of those tiles previously will be closed since I've already added an item to my list, but I can easily open that back up. I'll click on the ASIN option here and I'll just paste in that string of characters and then click add item. Once this is done processing, you can see that the item has been added to my list. Now I'll give this a quick refresh. I'm doing this so I can see this delete button here. It can take a few seconds to populate. So I want to remove this because there's one other thing I want to show you on this product page, which is another entry point to add items to your list. So if you scroll down in this area here, which we call the buy box, this is where you can make your buying selections and add items to your cart. Right underneath that is going to be an add to list option. If you click this down arrow here, you'll see all of the lists that you have created. And you'll be able to select which one you would like to add this item to. You can also see here that you can create a brand new list right straight from the product page. For today, I'm just going to add this to my Jansan list, and then I'll click View List here to make sure that it has been added. All right, so now that I've populated my list with a few items, I apologize, I didn't actually delete this one, it looks like. I now want to share this list with others. So I am in charge of janitorial supply purchasing, but I'm not the only one on the team that does this type of purchasing. I have a whole team behind me, a whole team working with me. So I want to make sure that they have access to this list as well. Here you have the share screen, and there are many options on this share screen. We'll start with this first box here, I guess a second option, which is to add a person to the list or a group to the list that can view and buy from that list. So here I could start typing in a name, or I could start typing in the name of a group. Here you can see I can layer multiple people and multiple groups to give them access to view and buy from that list. Now, let's say I want to not only allow them to buy from the list, but also edit the list. I have this second box here where I can add a name. This one only does allow you to add people, specific people, not full groups, but you could type in the names of those individuals that you'd like to be able to edit. If you are an administrator with access to share lists with your entire organization, you also have this option here. This will allow you to automatically share that list with everyone that's on your central account and not necessarily have to type each person out or each group out individually. This does only give them viewing permissions and buying permissions so that they're able to view and buy that list. It does not give editing permissions. And then down here is another feature that I would like to show you. This is how you can generate a public link to share your list externally. So let's change our example for a second. Let's say that I am running a school supplies drive at the beginning of the school year, and I want to provide a list of school supplies that we need donated for others to potentially buy and donate to our organization. I am going to put those together in a list. And let's say I need a very specific number of supplies. I have a list of children that needs very specific school supplies. So I'm going to actually set a quantity on these, and I'm going to use the shopping list instead of the reorder list. So as certain things are purchased, they'll fall off the list, and we're making sure that the things that are remaining are available for other people to purchase only. So I do that, and then I click the share option as we just did. And then I enable this public link. I copy out this public link. I add it to any of my marketing communications. I include in those marketing communications any additional helpful instructions, such as where those items should be shipped. And then donors can see the list of items I need, see the quantity of items that are remaining that I need, the type of items that are remaining that I need, and make sure they get shipped to the correct destinations. Then I'll just go ahead and click save once I have confirmed that I've shared my list with everyone that I need or I have pulled my public link. All right, so let's go to another example now. I am switching from being someone that handles janitorial supply purchasing. Now I'm actually on the HR team and I'm handling employee onboarding. So I have a pretty lengthy list of items that I need to use for or need to purchase each time someone joins the company. And I'm pretty sick of having to go find all of those items individually. So I want to put them together in a list. It's always it tends to be the same items, and I want an easy way to be able to add them to cart. But I know that this list is significantly long. So adding these items to my list individually just doesn't make sense for me. Instead, I want a faster method to bulk upload items to put on my list. So we do have that option for you, and we'll show you the bulk upload method now. So I'm going to hover over lists again, and this time I'll show you a couple things that we're now seeing that since I've created my list. I first here have a list of my lists. These are all of the lists that I have created. And then here I have a list of Amazon recommended lists. These are lists that Amazon curates for you. They have office supplies, IT peripherals, and break room supplies, as you can see here, and many more. So these will sometimes be showing in your list menu as potential recommendations. If any lists were shared with you by your organization, you would also see a separate heading that says shared with your organization and those lists that are shared with you there or that you have shared with the organization. So let's go back to our onboarding example. I'll click here, create list. And this time it is again a situation where I need a reorder list because I will need to buy these items repeatedly as any new employee is onboarded at the company. And I'll give this list a name. Let's go with, since I already have an onboarding list, I'll give this onboarding 2 for today's purposes. Instead of clicking create list here, what I'm going to do is click upload a spreadsheet of items. And then I will get a two-step process here. I will first click the download template, and I have actually already done that for us. And that's going to give me a document that looks like this. I'll zoom out a little bit for us so we can see it holistically, and then we'll get into the individual options here. So first, you have this somewhat medium blue set of columns here. And what that's doing is giving you 3 options to add items to your list. So the first one here is going to be adding items based on ASIN or ISBN. And that's what we're going to do for today's demo. Again, that ASIN is that Amazon Standard Identification Number that we saw on the product page under product details. So you can copy that out and paste it into the spreadsheet. You have 2 other options as well. You could use a combination of supplier name and SKU or manufacturer and part number. Over here at the end, you have 2 additional optional fields. If you would like the items to be added to your list and in a default quantity that is greater than 1, you can go ahead and enter that quantity here. If you would like to set a reference price, you can provide a price here where when the system finds that there are multiple options that meet the unique identifier that you have provided, the system can run analysis to identify potential savings based on that reference price that you have added. This last column here, I'll point out, this is our validation column, just to make sure that whatever you have entered into the spreadsheet meets the format that we need in order to have a successful upload. So here you can see that everything I have entered here, these ASINs have come up as valid. Let's just, for demonstration purposes, add anything that's not a number in this final column. You can see that it'll say invalid here, so we know that we have to go back in and correct it. Go ahead and save this file and then make sure it's in a place for you to easily access, because we are going to go ahead and upload it now in step 2. All right. So I already have the list upload demo saved here, so I'm going to go ahead and upload that. And then I will click create list. Give it a few seconds to process. This could take longer depending on the length of the list that you have uploaded. And then here you can see that my list has been automatically generated for me based on those ASINs. Now, if I have a new employee that's starting next week and I need to make sure I have these supplies ready for them, I could add all items to cart with the preset quantities that I have already added. I could go ahead here and update my quantities ahead of adding all items to cart. Or I can add things individually to cart from here. So I can just go ahead and click add to cart next to each item. Maybe the new employee that is starting next week doesn't need absolutely every item on the list. And once that's complete, then I can go ahead and go through the standard checkout process. The final thing I will note for today is this make list preferred, which is showing up in this light purple bar. If you have Amazon Prime, you are able to mark lists as preferred. And what this does is take the items that are on that list and give them a little identifier on search results pages and on the product pages to say that they are organization preferred and a little green check mark. And it will also boost them to the top of search results for relevant keyword searches. So if I were to search for HDMI cables, this one would be promoted to the top with a nice little green check mark and label that says organization preferred. When you make any preferred policies, you are also able to add a note to buyers. So when they click through to the product page, they can see exactly why that item was marked as preferred. Jumping back into the slides, I encourage you all to give this a try. Use the QR code on the left to begin creating and sharing lists in your accounts. Do you need more help, or would you like to receive a custom demo of these tools? Use the QR code on the right to connect one-on-one with an Amazon business representative. Of course, I also encourage you to check in next time where my colleague Bill Sinise will take back the mic to talk to you about purchasing hacks. I hope you enjoyed this quick tour of buying lists on Amazon Business. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day.